Good?
Yep.
Welcome. Let me hit the microphone. Now, welcome. We appreciate you all coming out tonight. We have a special officers tonight. We're going to get into Lawrence Township. Pretty exciting. It's an honor on this. We like to congratulate all the graduations this year. And just be careful out there with the kids graduating, running in the street, playing ball and stuff like that, running out between that. Just be careful if you don't mind on it. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Lawrence Township Council being held on Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, has been provided through the posting of the annual meeting schedule of said council in accordance with Section 13 of the Open Public Meeting Act. Said notice was forwarded to the Trentonian, the Times, and the Ledger on December 11th, 2022. Madam Clerk, when we have the inspiration.
May we carry out our work at this meeting in a just, honorable, and sincere manner, always bearing in mind our duties and continuing to keep Lawrence a wonderful community in which to live. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Mr. Bobbitt.
Here.
Mr. Kanaki.
Here.
Ms. McDuff.
Here.
Mr. Powers.
Here.
Mayor White.
Here. All right, this is it. Special proclamations, recognitions, and presentations. We're going to do the oath of office administered to the new police officers. Chief, will you do it?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Over the past year, we've had a tremendous amount of retirements in the department. With those retirements, as officers left, they took their experience and their institutional knowledge with them. So in trying to fill that void, we've gone through and searched out the best police officers that we could to backfill those positions. And today, we're lucky to have 5 of the best coming into Lawrence Township. Lawrence Township is very fortunate to have these 5 gentlemen. And as I read through their bios, you'll see why. So if all 5 of you guys want to come up, please. Very good. We have Officer Brian Stiegler, Officer Mark Muhammad, Officer Nair Campbell, Officer Hermedio Cruz, and Officer Kyle Mahler, who will be sworn in tonight. First, Brian Stiegler, he grew up in Monroe Township, New Jersey, graduated from Monroe Township High School in 2017. He attended the University of South Florida and earned a bachelor's degree in criminology. After college, Brian moved to New York City and was hired by the New York City Police Department and attended the NYPD Police Academy. After graduating from the academy, he was assigned to the 76th Precinct in Brooklyn, where he worked for about a year. In August of 2022, Brian was hired by the Lawrence Township Police Department and attended the Mercer County Police Academy to obtain his New Jersey Police Training Certificate. During his background investigation, it was pretty remarkable. Brian's direct supervisor from NYPD, he doesn't know this because he didn't read his own background. He said that Brian's best attributes as a police officer were intelligence, a positive demeanor, promptness, and his ability to de-escalate volatile situations, which are some of the skills that make the best police officers going forward. Brian's already completed his field training here in Lawrence Township. He's been working as a fully trained officer now for about 2 months. In reviewing some of Brian's interactions with the community, which we do during their field training, we watch their body cameras and we watch how they interact with the community. It's quite impressive to see how Brian has the ability to communicate with the public and show our residents genuine compassion and empathy. For a newer officer, Brian represents our department as a true professional. Brian has a successful career ahead of him here in Lawrence, and we're happy to have him as part of our family. And he's joined by his parents tonight, Heather and Gary. You can clap for Brian. Mark Muhammad. Mark Muhammad was born in Trinidad and Tobago. He migrated to the United States with his parents in 2005. He grew up in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and attended the Pennsbury High School, graduating in 2016. He attended the Bucks County Community College, where he earned an associate's degree in psychology. He continued his education, transferring to Temple University, where he dual majored in psychology and criminal justice. After graduating from Temple, Mark was hired as a mental health technician, working in an acute behavioral health hospital with adolescents with autism spectrum disorder and other varying psychiatric conditions and trauma. While in that role, he was promoted to a supervisory position where he trained and oversaw and implemented daily operations such as safety plans and crisis intervention while maintaining a rapport with the patients. Mark also graduated from the Cape May County Police Academy. And for those of you who don't know about the Cape May County Police Academy, it's a residential academy, which means that the officers live there Sunday night through Friday evening. It's a 24-hour, 5.5-day-a-week training for 20 weeks. They're removed from society, essentially. They have no internet access, they have no Wi-Fi, they have no cell phones. They're completely immersed in their training, and you'll see the benefits over their career of the training. It's really intensive. When I asked Mark for some personal information in preparation of tonight's swearing in, he said, "I'm excited, humbled, and honored to learn, experience, and serve Lawrence Township community with honor, dignity, and integrity." And to know Mark, he's a remarkable guy. He's just, to talk to him is to like him. He's just a fantastic guy. We're lucky to have him here. He's joined here tonight by his parents, Liz and Shaiz, his girlfriend, Katie, his friends, Harv, Trey, Cheyenne, and Dave. And he's joined by two special people that he said helped him get here today, and that's Mike and Helen. So we'll give Mark a round of applause. Next, Nair Campbell, probably one of the most outgoing people you ever meet. Nair grew up in West Hampton, New Jersey before moving to Mount Holly. He attended Rancocas Valley Regional High School and graduated in 2018. Nair attended Albright College, earning a combined bachelor's degree in criminology and accounting, and he played on Albright College's rugby team. Nair has already showed his commitment to Lawrence Township. He has shown up to just about every community event that the police department has held. So that's a true show of how committed he is already, and we appreciate that. Nair also graduated from the Cape May County Police Academy. And when I asked again the officers to write something down that I could share, Nair actually wrote a mission statement for himself. I found pretty impressive. And he doesn't notice, but I'm going to read it. It says, "My mission statement is to protect the citizens of Lawrence and be a positive impact on the community. Be the best person that I can be each and every day for the citizens of Lawrence Township." And that's a first for me to have somebody do that. And it just shows what type of person Nair is. So thank you, Nair. Next, Hermadio Cruz. Hermadio was born in Queens, New York. He moved to New Jersey and lived in South Brunswick. He attended the South Brunswick High School, graduated in 2017. While he attended high school, Hermadio was a captain in a track and field team. He was nationally ranked in the 200-meter dash and the 400-meter dash, and he placed 11th in the entire United States. Hermadio attended the University of Albany, Sunny. He earned a bachelor's degree in Homeland Security and Leadership. While attending University of Albany, he continued his track and field career on the Division I level. Hermadio also attended and graduated from the Cape May County Police Academy, and he was recognized during graduation for tying third for best physical fitness in the academy out of his class. He's joined here tonight by his girlfriend, Christina, his parents, Janet and Hermadio Cruz, and his sister, Christina. Last but not least, Kyle Mahler. Kyle was born and raised in South Brunswick. He graduated from the South Brunswick High School in 2011. He attended Rutgers University and earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a minor in sociology. Kyle has a passion for physical fitness, if you couldn't tell, and has been a certified personal trainer for over 10 years. While attending Rutgers University, he found the time to manage the retro fitness of Princeton, where he continued to develop his passion for helping others by providing personalized physical training to his clients. His passion for helping others with improving their health and reaching their physical fitness goals has provided him a service foundation to continue his career in law enforcement. He attended the Cape May County Police Academy as well, tying from audio for number 3 in physical fitness. And he's here tonight with his girlfriend Sarah, his parents Lois and Gary, and his sister Brittany. If your family wants to come up, you guys can just step up a little bit, spread out a little bit. Your family can stand behind you. We square you in. If the family wants to come up behind each officer.
Glasses on.
Yeah, we just do one for everybody. Yeah.
You just state your name when we do it. I, state your name.
Hi, Brian Sager. Hi, Mark Mohammed.
Hi, Mayor Campbell. Hi, Harmodio Cruz.
Hi, Kyle Mahler.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of police officer
of a police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Officers, congratulations. Welcome to Lawrence Township. Thank you, Chief. And
We'll be back.
take it off. Is that a threat?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, please, thank you for coming and feel free to go out, take pictures and enjoy yourself. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Have a good night.
That gentleman said, oh, you're going to sell the TV.
It's nice.
Yeah, I know, yeah. They messed me up, they didn't line up the names.
I like how they all put their left hand on the next one's shoulder.
That was cool.
That was really cool.
I love that, they did that at the ceremony, I love that.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
I want to know, they both tied for third, like you couldn't get another push-up out?
I wanted to ask, was it like 1 and 3? And then they tied for second, or was it 1, 2, and then they tied for 3?
That's pretty impressive.
We wait for the manager to come back and then step down.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, we have public participation. Excuse me, ma'am in the back. Excuse me. Would you mind shutting the door?
Thank you.
I should have said NASCAR was there. Truex. Hey, Chief, it's cooling down a little bit now. It's hot here. We're just gonna hold off a little bit till the manager comes back. I'm sorry. Just hold on.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free.
We know each other pretty well here.
They know us pretty well.
That's why I went around the room.
I just put my ears. I don't think you like it.
So the chief was hot and Lee has her jacket around herself, so we got temperature disparities.
It is cooling
It's
down.
real nice right here. I
Yeah,
can
it's
feel
very-
it.
it's nice
I-
here, it's
I-
not
I-
bad.
Yeah.
No, it was hot like right over there.
Yeah,
When we came in.
it was. Well, they were all bunched together too, and they had their long sleeves
That
on.
was the last test.
And the
to make sure
doors
they
were
didn't
open.
pass out in heat.
I think the doors were open, it just let the cool out a little bit, so it's cooling down some.
Yeah,
That feels good.
in about 2 minutes, I'll put on my cardigan, so I'm not freezing.
You all set? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, we're back. Thank you for waiting. We're gonna have public participation, please. 5 minutes. Is there any public participation? Please come up, state your name and your address for the record. Thank you.
Nancy Albertson, 620 Valley Forge Avenue, Lawrenceville. I have a question, first of all. When was the time of the meeting changed? Because when I looked at it yesterday, it said 6:30. So I didn't get any notice at all over the email or anything.
The meeting agenda has 6 o'clock PM on it, and it went out that way to the council and also posted.
Okay.
In addition to that, when we did the meeting notice, the summer schedule is posted from, June into September. The meeting is at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so when I looked, I went under meetings and it said 6:30, so maybe that was the original calendar. I didn't know there was another spot to look.
Yeah, it should not have that on there. It should be 6 o'clock.
Okay, and I did not look at the agenda, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I'm here to request that the process commence to have the property occupying block 503, lots 15 to 26 be protected under Green Acres. I spoke to a DEP agent about 2 weeks ago who informed me that their investigation is complete. She told me that no contamination or wetlands were found on the area that Trenton Block and Hardscape has encroached on. They also said that they have definitely encroached on Lawrence Township owned land, but further ruling would have to come from another agency. She also advised me that upon a visual inspection, it appears that there are wetlands that have been left undisturbed by Trenton Block further on the property, probably closer to where the road ends. And that if the property was ever sold or built upon, it would be the owner's burden of proof to make a final determination of the wetlands. So this information was also conveyed to the current owner of Trenton Block and Hardscape by her. And I have requested a written copy of the findings, and I will forward them to you if you don't have it at this point. I don't know if they've communicated with you. So a letter was sent to Mr. Killian, the owner of Trenton Block and Hardscape, dated August 30th, 2022, and it states that they must remove all encroachments onto adjacent township land and restore the property consistent with prior conditions within 30 days of receipt of this letter. As we all know, they still continue to occupy the township property. The
property has also been cleared of all trees and vegetation and built up with filler, which we all know that also. So my question to the council is, what is your vision and what are your expectations for Trenton Block to restore the property back to the original condition? I don't know what your expectations are for that, so. And I just want maybe some feedback on that, so. And I thank you for your time and service, and I hope we can get this started, this whole process, so we can all leave you alone.
No problem, thank you. I received your email and read over it.
Yeah, I got your response.
And I believe the last time, Councilman Powers, we brought up Green Acres and we were waiting for that. I think, it's up to council whether we can look, since it's been deemed.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up under new business, but.
Yeah, we can do that. But, now that it's been clear, council agrees,
I'm sorry, what are we?
we're looking at,
Yeah, I'm not.
You want to do it under new business?
whether we put it under new business. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, this is public comment, so I think us making a decision right now is,
No.
Oh, I'm not trying to make a decision. I just wanted to know if Mike was gonna speak on it now
New
in
business.
response to
New
Ms.
business.
Albertson
Okay.
or during new business. Okay.
Is there anyone else?
Yes, of course.
Mhm.
Sylvia Lopez, 1547 Ohio Avenue.
who's next?
You have received my email that I sent yesterday. This is just so it's on the record because it's a pretty big request. So, that's why I'm here to read it out. I believe there has been a significant expansion of business operations done by Trenton Building Block and Trenton Block and Hardscape Supply since 1950. The evidence of that is a significant encroachment on township property, continuous removal of the buffer between the non-conforming land use and the residential properties, continuous use of both sides of Cherry Tree Lane for loading the customers' vehicles. It was verbally explained to me that Trenton Block enjoys the pre-existing non-conforming land use. However, that law does not provide them with allowances to enlarge or change the scope of operations. Opera requests and emails from Mr. Purvis confirmed that there are no legal documents, there are no notifications, there is nothing written down within the township records that that land has ever been put into the pre-existing non-conforming land use. My request tonight here is that the township evaluates and does an inquiry that's open and transparent into the scope of operations within that property. And enforce the proper usage of that property. Also, this business has become a private nuisance to the point that one of the properties recently just sold, residential properties, neighboring that business directly. And multiple potential buyers canceled the private tours to see the house just because they observed what was happening within the Trenton Block property, the heavy truck traffic. Right now we have semis going down Ohio Avenue in front of my house that make a left turn into Cherry Tree Lane and back up all the way down to the end of the road. These roads are not designed for these kinds of vehicles. The buses can barely make a left turn on the traffic, on the stop sign where Ohio Avenue ends and comes up to Cherry Tree Lane. So that would be my request for the township to check on the scope. I know that the current owner took out a mortgage with EP Henry. That's not a financial institution, that's a hardscaping company that produces the pavers. So we know that that was introduced in the fall of 2003 after that property was purchased by the current owner. So that's one of the things that we already know the scope of operations have expanded. Thank you very much, and I await your answer to that.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else for public participation? 5 minutes, please. State your name and your address for the record. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Glenn Elhart. Address 624 Valley Forge Avenue, Lawrence. I'm one of the neighbors that's still dealing with this Trenton block stuff here. And I guess you all know they're not completely moved yet. And there's been no remediation on the land, which they were supposed to do. Didn't remove any of the stone that was there, no planting of vegetation, and they haven't done anything as far as cleaning up the woods. You know, so far, this has cost the township a title search. It's cost a survey, probably border markings, and I understand lawyer fees now. Why don't, you're the authorities here, why don't you find them? They're trespassing. If I did that, I live right next to Lawrence Township land. If I just set up a little homestead over there and stayed there, you'd have somebody come in there and arrest me for trespassing. They're using property illegally and they're destroying it. And I know he's gonna say he didn't know. But whenever has ignorance of the law been a defense? And there's two lawyers that can affirm to that. The reason I'm really concerned about this because this resolution was tabled before. And when something's tabled, that means you're postponing for future consideration. And I want to make sure that's not happening. Okay, that's all I gotta say, and I hope I don't have to come back here too much more.
Thank you, Ms. Glenhart. You're more than welcome to come back anytime.
Sure you got better stuff to hear though.
Oh, you're more than welcome. In fact, you're welcome to come tomorrow if you'd like.
That meeting was canceled. I saw that.
Is there anyone else for public participation for 5 minutes, please? Please come up, state your name and your address for the record. Thank you.
Peter Kovas, KOVUS, 1547 Ohio Avenue. First of all, I would like to thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Nowinski, Council, and whoever is involved in the beautification of Brunswick Avenue. We got new trees and it looks much better than it used to be. So thank you for doing that. For a good job. And I just want to put in the record that in regards to Trenton Block, that's a routine. It's a routine that equipment and merchandise is stored outdoors. Section 309-53 of the Township Code provides that outside storage or display of merchandise or equipment shall be forbidden. However, this subsection shall not apply to outside storage of motor vehicles, campers, boats, or other similar merchandise held for retail sale. And so based on that, it appears that Trenton Black will be in direct violation of this section of Township Code, and I think they enjoy doing that for a very long time. And it looks like nobody bothers to challenge them when they store trucks and material in front of the buildings in the right of way for a very long time. And I know we addressed this issue before, but so far nothing has happened. That's it.
That's it. Thank you.
Just want to put in the record. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it. Anyone else for public participation? 5 minutes. State your name and your address, please.
Greg Liddy, 827 Bunker Hill Avenue. I have a statement and then a general question. According to recent documents filed by Lawrence Township and Mercer County Court, Trenton Block and Hardscape has been using tax-exempt public property for profit without authorization from Lawrence Township. And that's just a statement. So I have a general question. Are there any laws being violated when a private enterprise uses public property without authorization for financial gain? Are there any laws against that?
Is that question to me?
It's a question to the mayor, and if he wants to ask you, that's up to him.
Mr. Polito, I'm not quite sure.
Oh, okay, neither am I, that's why
I'll
I'm
defer
asking the
that
question.
to,
I mean, is there a purpose behind the question?
The purpose behind the question is there any laws being violated because somebody is using township property for profit and gain in Lawrence Township? And I just want to know, are there any laws being violated? Ordinances or anything like that?
I'm not sure. You said you were reading from a paper. What paper were you reading from? You said you were reading a statement from a paper that Lawrence?
No, I
Township
saw
filed
documents that
something?
were filed by Lawrence Township
Filed where?
in the Mercer County Court.
So that's litigation?
I just read it there, yeah, but that
So
has nothing to do with the question. My question was a
So
generic
there-
question.
I believe that there's pending litigation between Lawrence Township and the owner of Trenton Block. So, your line of questioning, I would counsel the council, to be very wary about answering questions, on this line of questioning, because there's a
It's under
pending litigation that
litigation.
we can't talk about.
That's not, so it's a generic question though. Can somebody go on the township property and profit from it?
I mean, I think you know the answer. It's a
No, I don't
rhetorical
know the
question. I
answer.
mean,
I
there's
really
a
don't know the answer, but-
potentially,
Okay, that
potentially.
means, thank you, Mr. Mayor, I'm not getting an answer to my question.
thank you, Mr. Politi. Anyone else for public participation? 5 minutes. Seeing none, we're going to close public participation and move on.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
May I supplement the record in light of the comments that have been made in public?
Yes.
For everyone's purposes, you all know this. Lawrence Township initiated a civil action against Trenton Block and Hardscape for the trespass on its property that was filed and was served against the defendant. An answer is yet to be filed, but still within the time frame to allow it to be filed. Mr. Roscoe's has been in contact with the attorney in this process, and we are asserting all of the legal rights that we can. There's been statements that have made that have no basis in law or fact with regard to this specific issue, which is not a cut and dry. Mr. Politi indicated, can somebody use township land for their own benefit and purpose? Of course not. But this is not that case in simplified terms. This is a fact-sensitive situation where a business has been operating for more than 50 years and at least 30 years on township property, and the township had not asserted any of its rights with regard to clarifying, and for decades, it's been allowed to have happened. We have now discovered it through this process. And we went through the process, and Mr. Roscoe's firm has researched all of the viable options. You all have seen the memorandums with regard to every possible way we can assert our rights as a township. So the ability to fine somebody for trespassing, no, doesn't exist, just doesn't exist. But we are asserting our rights with regard to trespassing in the civil realm, and we will move forward with it because you have all said, and I agree with you, nobody should be using our land without our permission and without the benefit of the community being involved. So I just want you to know, you do know that. You've been provided with all the litigation information with the complaint and all that. And I want the town and community to know that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing in a responsible manner. And we're going to continue to do that. You have been heard. All of you have been heard. It's very easy to say, make comments, just do it. Well, we're defined by the law and the process, and we certainly don't want to put the community in a situation where we expose ourselves to additional liabilities by acting improperly on emotion because people want us to do things. And so that's all I'm going to say on the litigation matter. I just want people to know we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. Thank you.
Okay, very good. I hope that answers some of your questions. Thank you.
She's done it 30 years, so it's maybe okay.
That's,
Agreed. I absolutely agree with you. That's why we're doing something right now.
so we're good on that, all right? So we are done, no more public participation, I'm closing that. Seeing none, we're gonna close that, we're gonna move on to review and revision of the agenda.
Mayor, I understand there's some reconciliation with 18F2, so if we could pull that from the agenda. And it's my understanding that we don't need a closed session tonight.
That's correct.
It's not on. It has no number.
H14?
It's already,
What are we doing?
Yeah, but it doesn't have a number, right?
Oh, okay,
It doesn't have a
It's,
number.
right, it's a, if need.
Yeah.
okay. So I'll move that, Mayor.
Very good, thank you. Can I get a second?
Uh,
We're gonna move,
Can I second that and then amend it? Is that a possibility?
Which are you seconding?
Seconding his motion to pull those
Pull.
two things. I guess I'll second that and then, never mind.
Yes,
I'm-
that's okay.
I'll think of myself. If we only start at 6:30. I'll get there.
You gotta have a Pikachu first.
So I'll
So
I'll second Mr. Powers' motion. Mr. Mayor.
F2, 18F2.
Right, so we're removing F2, 18F2.
Is it F2 or I think Councilman Powers said F3? I just not sure.
It's the,
It should be F2, right?
yeah, it's the
185.
authorizing 185.
Yeah, 185.
Okay. Thank you.
And I second that.
what's the reason for we're doing this?
Feedback?
Is this the $94 or $96?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we're waiting, just so everybody knows, the reason why that's happening is that the litigation is being billed through the insurance fund, and there may be some billing that's floating around somewhere, and instead of doing this resolution for the 90 some odd dollars, we decided, let's wait and see what the final up-to-date billing is. Did you say that?
I said reconciliation, but.
That's a big word.
So we have a motion and a second, right?
Correct.
Yes.
That's where we're at.
All right.
In conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kaneki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Mayor, if I may. That's good. I'd like to make a motion to have 18H6 and then 18H10 read separately from the rest of the resolutions.
Second.
That was 6 and 10, right?
6 and 10,
6 and
correct.
10.
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kaneki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes. All right, you ready? All right, we're gonna do 8, adoption of minutes, previous meetings.
Mayor, I'll move 8A, regular meeting of February 21st, 2023.
Second.
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kaneki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Mayor, move 8B, closed session of May 16th, 2023.
Second.
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kaneki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
I was not here due to illness, so I'm gonna have to abstain, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Abstain, please. Can I get a motion for 9A, please?
Mayor, move 9A, number 175, authorizing awarding bid 2306 for uniform rental and cleaning for a 3-year period, July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026.
Second.
This is essentially for public works, individuals, uniforms, service that we use.
Is there any public participation on this? Seeing none, we'll close that, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bobbitt?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. McDuff?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes. Can I get a motion for 9B, please?
Mayor, move 9B number 176, authorizing rejection of bid number 22-12, Lawrence Hopewell Trail, Maidenhead Meadows Trail segment.
Second.
Any public participation for this? Seeing none, we're gonna close it, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bobbitt?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. McDuff?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes. Can I get a motion for 9C, please?
Mayor, move 9C number 190, authorizing rejection of bid number 23-07, Colonial Lake Trail improvements.
Is there any public participation for this? Seeing none, we're gonna close that, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bobbitt?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. McDuff?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes. Can I get a motion for 10A, please?
Mayor, move 10A, ordinance number 2451-23, ordinance amending ordinance 2228-16 by the Township of Lawrence, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, in order to revise the description of the improvement herein, acquisition of various computer and office equipment to include security upgrades.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbitt?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. McDuff?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes. On that, just a little notation on that, whether it's through 10B, C, or just I received, you all right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're brought in there. Just a sigh, I know, 6:30. No, I reached out to Mr. Nowinski, and he gave me some detail, and I would just like a little more on that before the final adoption of it.
I can't give you any more detail than I've provided. This was pretty extensive, the detail that I've given on this one, which has generated 4 substantial emails. And there is nothing more that I think that I could provide on this. However, if you have a specific question, I'm happy to try and answer it.
Just the cost.
There is no cost. There's no cost at this time. This is,
Adding to the bond.
this is a bond that was already introduced and passed by the governing body, I think in 2016. In that bond, there are sections in paragraph 3 that identify items that fulfill the purpose of the bond. And so from time to time, consistent with that purpose, there are items that we feel that are necessary that come up. For example, a key fob system for the police department that burned out and has been patched together by the Public Works Department. We feel that this is an appropriate, meets the purpose of this bond. So instead of going to the capital budget, we wanted to use the bond. And in order for us to meet our best practices, more strict requirements, we routinely, and we have for the past 20 years at least, we revised the description to more accurately reflect the items that we intend to purpose. We have not bid for these, they don't exist. We just know that we have this money designated in that specific section, $28,000, that we want to use to fill those needs for the police department, and we needed to do it immediately. So there's no price tag yet, but we're going to go out, this is the first part of the process to do this. So we're looking for the governing body to say, yes, manager, we want to comply with the New Jersey bond law. We accept the revised descriptions. They meet the purpose of the bond that we passed in 2016. Now go out and do what you do, which is purchase items that are necessary for the municipal operations. And so that's what I've indicated in my emails to you, and that's what we're trying to accomplish. So if you want to get involved in the purchasing part of it, that would be outside the scope of what the elected officials are supposed to do. So the best that I can do is describe this process, how I've done on the record now, and also for the 3 other substantial emails trying to indicate to you, this is our form of government. Some cities may have a different way of doing things, but in our form of government, you have appointed me to handle the day-to-day operations and to identify the needs to operate. And in this specific case, the police department needs the security cameras. They need the key fob. This is just stuff that comes up all the time. And we've been doing this for years, and it's never been a problem, except for this year. This is the third time we're introducing this ordinance. So this is just a regular function of government. And in our form of government, all I'm trying to do is my job, and I want you guys to do your job. And that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you. I think that's the most information I've gotten in.
It's not.
months.
I've sent you detailed.
I'm not here to
emails.
argue. I'm just.
No, there's no
expressing
argument because the emails, I have written books to you almost on this. So I don't know, it's not the most information you ever got. I've actually just summarized all the emails that I've sent to you. So it's the same information. I just really want us to stop being dysfunctional and just do what we're supposed to be doing. I do my job, you do your job, and we just work on behalf of the community. That's what I'm looking for. Because I spent 2.5 hours today answering your email request when I've already done it multiple times. It's time.
But if we
and
have a
it's
question, that's our job to answer a question.
It's completely fine, but this is the third time that you're answering the same question. You're asking the same question. So, I guess I apologize. I have to continue to answer the same thing, but this is just a fundamental way that we've been doing it. And that first email way back when in January, I just clipped out 16 times we amended the description from various ordinances over the last 5 years. And every single time, the process went without any problems. And we exist as a community and we're doing the job that we're all supposed to be doing. But for this year, for whatever reason, we've turned on our heads and we're unable to function the way we should be functioning. And I just wish we could return to that.
Thank you. Motion for 10B, please.
Mayor, move 10B ordinance 2452-23, bond ordinance amending bond ordinance 2258-17 by the Township of Lawrence County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, in order to revise the description of the improvement herein, improvements to the police break room.
Second.
Madam Clerk? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I just had a quick question, so I'm not sure. I did talk to my fellow council members to try to get some guidance on where to ask this question. I was advised to ask it after it was introduced. It's just a quick question to the manager. I think I know the reason why, and I think my other council members think that it's the same reason, but I figure it can't hurt to just ask quickly. It does relate to C, which I realize has not been introduced yet, but the question was just, it seems like B and C both seem to be, or the same description, right? Improvements to the police break room. So I understand that it's amending two different bond ordinances. I just was wondering why we're using two different bonds ordinances to do the same project. Is it because we maxed out one of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you get my email response to you?
Yeah, I did get your first one. Thank
Late
you.
in the day, and I know that, and that's why.
Well, I shot that follow-up and then I came in and I tried to catch you before, but I couldn't. So I
Yeah,
just
so
figured-
some items that we identify in our bond ordinances, they have, like, for example, this previous one, we have $28,000 left on it. So if we know that there's something that may cost more than $28,000, what the CFO does, he'll look at other bonds previously passed and see if there's any way that we could use that supplemental bond to cover everything so we don't have to go into our municipal budget. And that's what that's all about.
Got it. Thank you.
Wasn't that bad? All right, good. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Vaden?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. McDuff?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes. Can I get a motion for 10C, please?
Sure, Mayor, move ordinance number 2453-23, ordinance amending ordinance 2449-23 by the Township of Lawrence County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, in order to revise the description of the improvement herein, improvements to the police break room.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Vaden?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. McDuff?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Ryan?
Yes. Can I get a motion for 10D, please?
Sure, Mayor, move ordinance 2454-23, ordinance amending ordinance 2361-20 by the Township of Lawrence County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, in order to revise the description of the improvement herein, improvements to the Ann Demery Nature Center furnishings.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kaneki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuck,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes. Can I get a motion for 11A, please?
Sure, Mayor, move ordinance number 2450-23, an ordinance amending chapter 435 of the Lawrence Township Administrative Code entitled Vehicles and Traffic as it pertains to Lawrenceville Pennington Road.
Second.
Is there any public participation for this? Seeing none, we're gonna close that. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kaneki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuck,
Yes.
Mr. Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes, I'm sorry. Manager's report.
I had nothing to report this time.
Attorney's report.
Nothing to report other than say thank you once again for having me.
Nice seeing you
It's
guys.
good seeing you guys. I get you
Your
once a
family's doing
season.
well?
Yes.
Twice. I think we had twice there, wasn't it?
Oh, you know what? Tomorrow, probably because tomorrow is the first day of summer, right?
All right, yes.
So you got me twice in the spring.
Yes. Yes, very good. Nice seeing you. Hope all's well. Clerk's report.
Yesterday, the election was certified, with the 3 names and everything like that, so congratulations to you. And, just let me know, how you would like your names on the ballot. If you would like it exactly the way it is, and that's the way it stays. Okay?
Okay, very good.
All
Thank
right,
you. Is that it?
that is it.
All right, we're gonna move on to unfinished business.
Mayor, I don't know if it's unfinished business or new business, but we had raised the topic of the township-owned lots on Ohio Avenue. They are not permanently preserved in the open space program, and we had raised the issue of having them put into the Green Acres program after the DEP investigation. Frankly, the DEP investigation has no impact on township-owned property, that going into the Green Acres program would not affect any encroachment issues or trespass issues. It would just permanently protect that so that future councils would be unable to develop those lots. And there's precedent for this. We've done this in Edgar's Crossing when there was an affordable housing project proposed, and we put it into Green Acres so that that land was permanently preserved. So I'd like to do the same thing for the residents down in Ohio Avenue. So if we could have that moved and seconded, that would be great.
Council?
Sounds good for me. I say let's move it.
Councilman Knappe? You all right?
I would like us to take a look at the property and what that means by putting in the Green Acres, the encumbrance and things like that, just so that we're doing our due diligence as a township if we're gonna do something this, because once you put it in the Green Acres, you can't really take it back. So just want to understand what that ramification is.
Very good.
And Mayor, just the Trails and Open Space did discuss this, and they were in favor of having it because of the location close to Hero Park. Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, is that something that we would ask of the town manager, or something we bring to the planning or zoning board, just so we can get the information that Councilman Bobbitt wants, is hopefully by the next meeting if possible? I know we're on summer schedule, so yeah, I don't know if we can direct it to who we need to direct it to get some information and keep it rolling for the folks out there.
I think that we already addressed some of the issues in a prior communication to all of you. This is your job, right? You guys, you get paid the big bucks to do the elected official stuff. So the only thing that I will say on the record, because I want the record to be clear, when we take our land, the community's land, and we put it in Green Acres, that takes away any potential use in future generations. It may make sense now, but the answer, you have to ask yourself and answer the question, do I want future generations to, in our community, not have access to that? And that's just a fundamental question. I posed that to you in an email previously. That's got to be a part of your process. Because let's face it, if a certain business that we will not name vacates the area, now there's this interesting opportunity. And if we put our property in Green Acres, it will limit the use in the future for any potential new situation for not only us present day, but you guys have to lead forward thinking for future generations as well. So we know that property is compromised by wetlands. We know this because we got the information. I don't know if we received a formal report. We did get an email from the DEP.
Right.
And so the use of it is absolutely limited. But that's all a part of your deliberation process. And I want to put that together for all of you. And you just have to keep that in mind. Present day, you may be making people happy right now, but your job is more than that, in my opinion. You have to worry about future generations. And will this community, all of it, will they need that in the future for something else to service either that portion of the town or otherwise? And that's all I want to just get on the record, that we all know that we need to contemplate more than it sounds good to us, let's do it. Because once you say let's do it, it's done.
And from a legal standpoint, I agree with everything, that the manager said. Once a property goes into the Green Acres program, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to get it out of the Green Acres program.
There's swapping and stuff that can happen, so it's not the end all be all, but it just has to be a part of it.
Yeah, I don't think either of us are saying what you should do, but it is very difficult to change that designation once it's made.
Mr. Go ahead, Councilman.
So I was gonna say, and that is the reason why I just asked for the report. That is all. Not sort of prejudged to be against it or anything, but just simply to have more information so I could make an informed decision. Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know if we'd be able to, or if this is something we can do, or if we'd have to do it by vote. I don't know if we could ask the town attorney to do some legal research and see what our options are versus putting into Green Acres, or if Township, if we as council or the planning board can do a resolution or an ordinance, talking about how we'd like the land to be used, something that's a little less permanent than putting into Green Acres or something like that.
Mr. Mayor, if I could answer the council, at least we're gonna be looking at the master plan correct next year, so that might be a perfect time to, not to kick it down the road for everyone, but that is one of the things that is coming up, is a holistic look at the township land uses as part of the master plan reevaluation, so.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure that whether it's now or when we do our master plan, if our attorney can look into the legal avenues that we have, and so we're all there so we can decide if we want to do Green Acres or not. I think, it's
I'm at
good to
your
review
pleasure.
everything.
Won't step on the
Because we give
township
them-
attorney's toes, but our options are, do we put it in Green Acres, or do we keep it as is, knowing that it's township property and that's the way, or we use it for another purpose, or anticipating using it for, that's it. There's no other way out of it other than through a master plan review of the areas, and we designate areas different ways for different purposes, and we use that as a framework moving forward. But I don't know if it's necessary to have a township attorney do a memorandum on that.
Well, my question was more so along the lines of, I'm wondering the legality, and again, either from council, planning board, or zoning board, as someone who does not do land use law at all, of basically what are some less permanent ways that we can, whether it's through a resolution where it's something where we're just making known our current wishes that it not be used, whether it's something that we make a suggestion to planning or zoning that, we prefer that, we zone this specific area because it's so close to wetlands a different way. If there's an ordinance, we can pass that until, another ordinance overturns our ordinance, that we're not going to build on it, kind of like a way to de facto preserve it. And I don't, again, do land use. So if that's something I think that can be discussed at the master plan, then that's perfectly fine. That was just my comments.
Yeah, all we need to remember is that we own this land now.
Yeah.
It's our land. So we get to control what happens to it. You guys do.
Mr. Mayor.
So,
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councilman.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna sit back here so I can close.
No, I'm good. I think we have.
So, Mr. Mayor,
answers in
I
common.
would, Mr. Mayor, I'd humbly request that in the new memorandum that I guess is from some of the previous emails that the township manager sent us all, if he could just add that sort of,
yeah.
Whether it's a resolution,
What other
ordinance,
options?
what other options, that's all. Thank you.
Very good. Anything else? New business? See, now we're gonna move on. Public participation, 3 minutes. Please come up, state your name and your address for the record. Thank you. Again.
Yeah, sure. Anytime, Mr. Mayor.
Sylvia Cobus, 1547 Ohio Avenue. Mr. Bobbitt, to answer your question about the layout of that area. That property comes up already to Green Acres. On the other side of it, there is Saturn Plastics that burned out years ago. That's contaminated land. Nobody's gonna touch it for God knows how many more years. It comes up to the dead end of Valley Forge Street. There is no other access to it other than lot 15 off of Cherry Tree Lane. Having it already marked with wetlands, I highly doubted that there would be anybody wanting to touch environmentally sensitive lands and build on them. So I'm hoping that would help you all make a decision on pursuing the Green Acres for that land, since you saw our fight for keeping it as is with Trenton Block. Any other business coming in instead of Trenton Block, which was my comment earlier, I hope you revise the grandfathering in what's really allowed on that land. So in case someone else comes in, they know what was grandfathered in and they don't run amok on that property, like Mr. Killian does right now. So I'm hoping that you will take my comments into consideration and work it into Green Acres. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We always take your comments into consideration.
I hope so.
You do. Thank you. Is there anyone else for public participation?
But come on, that one.
We're trying.
One of these days, we're gonna have to put doors on the other
That's a
side.
little. Please state your name and your address again, please.
My name is Glenn Elhart, 624 Valley Forge Avenue. Is there any alternative besides calling this Green Acres to make some resolution that is protected land? I understand Kevin wants to hang on to it, but he said, talk about like in the future, unprotected land is good for our kids. In the future, is this plan to maybe sell it? I don't know. It's, is there an in-between on this? The township, like if they have township has parks and that's protected land, but doesn't have to go to Green Acres. Is there something in between that you can do?
Mr. Mayor.
It's just a question.
May I have a
That's my
comment?
question, yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I want to be very clear. Words are important, and I did not use the words that I want to hold on to it. The words that I used was, I want these 5 individuals who are elected by the citizens of Lawrence Township to go through the process and make all the proper considerations. As I said before, and I mean this is their decision, not mine. They make the playing field upon which I do my job. So please don't get up there and say Kevin wants to hold on to it. That is inaccurate. And I want you just, my words are important. I just want
to set up the sale though.
No.
All right, now let's.
No, we're-
Far afield.
Okay, Glenn, you know what? I'm glad that you said that.
All right, I think we're going to move on here.
No one wants to know the truth.
It's a very.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Councilman.
Look like you're one of the press.
I'll press.
I'll fucking.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to say,
Yes.
in terms of the last statement by Mr. Elhart, that is one of the reasons why I wanted to hear from the township manager and the township attorney about what our different options are. You know, whether it's, and I'm, you know, whether it's some form of position that council could take that's in between, you know, understanding what that might be. So hopefully we can get that, as the councilwoman said, before next meeting, and we can go from there. Thanks.
Anyone else on council? Is there anyone else for public participation? 3 minutes. State your name again and your address. Thanks for the record.
Peter Thomas, KOGUS, 1647 Lehigh Avenue. So I just want to make a comment to Mr. Narinsky, that his comment was pretty shocking and irresponsible when not too long ago, last year, some of township officials claimed that when we're gonna rezone, our area actually is gonna improve our lives and increase the value of our property, which is of course false. So again, I don't know what, I'm not sure what Mr. Narinsky means for future generations. I'm not going anywhere, and if anything else is gonna come there, we wanna make sure it's not gonna create a conflict like we have right now with the current business, with enjoy a free ride for God knows how many years under the watchful eyes of Lawrence Township officials, current and previous, and how many years, and we fighting this since last year, and finally something happened. So that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Govas.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Is there anyone else for public participation? Seeing none, we're going to close that and move on. Can I get a motion for 18, please? 18.
Mayor, I'll move resolutions 18A1 through H5, H7, H8, H11, H12, H13.
Second.
Second, sorry, Councilman.
Yeah, we got them all.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bobbin,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Mrs. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Mayor, move 18H6.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk?
This is we're talking H6 now, right?
Correct.
Right, This is the one that.
Yeah,
that's what Robin wanted to-
and forgive me, Mr. Mayor, for not seconding that, and Councilman Powers. I wasn't sure if in seconding it, I could then ask questions and maybe be critical of it, so.
For purposes of discussion.
For purposes of discussion.
There you go.
So, there you go. I understand that we have conversations with MCIA about our recycling collections. If I could, I guess I just want to state for the record that I thought that the 7.5% increases over 5 years seems to me a little extreme. But I understand if I could ask the manager a question about this, if that's all right with the mayor.
Yes, thank you.
Can you give any insight into what the reasoning behind the 7.5 increases over 5 years when inflationary pressures over the last 5 years haven't equaled that?
Yeah, it's the issue of recyclables and how they are handled in our country and the loss of the use of China as a destination place in terms of where we ultimately send our recyclables. We met with the MCIA representative 2 weeks ago, and that saying it is what it is relevant here. They have one bidder. That's it. Just one company is willing and capable of handling this shared service throughout the county to do the work, and the price is set. There's no profit margin set in by the county. They are the point entity that provides the service to the municipalities. I can tell you that East Windsor had opted out. My understanding, they had opted out, and Robbinsville had opted out because of the increases that had been happening. And now they desperately want to opt in because they have found that going on their own has resulted in an adverse financial consequence to them. So the shared services that are giving us our best in terms of recycling at this present time. There's just no easy fix at this point in time. It is what it is relevant here. Until competition is created, until facilities are installed and used that create an easier destination point that don't have the transportation costs that are imposed upon it, then we're going to see these increases happening. And this is one of those services that a municipality our size and even larger can't take it on ourselves, because we're going to have to find the destination area ourselves. So we have a better bargaining base when we combine as a county.
Thank you for your answer. And thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council, for indulging me in this line of questioning. I apologize for not giving you a heads up that I was going to ask
That's
you about this. But I thought it important for it to sort of be on the record about sort of the pressures of this contract, and that it will far exceed our cap and other things. So.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that the MCI representative didn't indicate was that he doesn't foresee this upward climb continuing upward. He thinks we've reached a flattening out point, but he wasn't willing to put any money behind it.
Fingers crossed, Mr. Mayor.
And there's no negotiation. Mr. Nowinski, no negotiation in this.
Yeah, well, it's the basic principles of negotiation. You have to create competition.
And there's
So, yeah, I mean, you're going to one bidder who there's no one else there. We want it lower. No, that's the negotiation. I mean, that's basically what it is. But if you have 2 or 3 bidders who are willing to compete with each other to drive the cost down, then we're in a position, yeah, we'll go with you if you do it for this amount. This just doesn't exist in this situation. Same thing with garbage. I mean, we're going to go through the same thing with our garbage collection.
Very good. Anybody else? Can I get a motion for, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bobbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki,
Yes.
Ms. McDuff,
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Mayor, for purposes of discussion, I'll move H10.
Second?
Madam Clerk.
No. The discussion.
Oh,
I just want to understand. I just wanted to get a little more insight into understanding this, if there's a reason for this resolution, or if this was just trying to bring it back to how it once was. Or?
Yeah, it's bringing back, actually, I wrote a statement actually on this, if you don't mind.
You're the mayor, no problem.
On it. It was my understanding that the executive sessions meetings are no longer being recorded, despite that it is the practice to do so for as long as I've been a member of council. And according to our attorney, Dave Roscoe's Esquire, by the way of letter to to my personal attorney on May 10th, 2023, and a statement of municipal manager Kevin Nowinski during discussions held during May 2nd, 2023 executive session, the decision to stop recording executive portion of the council was made by the township clerk. I expressed previously, and I am reiterating now, my belief that executive session should be recorded, and my request that such a practice be resumed. I have concern about the content of the executive session being accurately and completely being documented without audio recording. I don't understand why the practice stopped, and how recording our meeting present a burden or hardship for anyone in attendance. Finally, it is my belief that the recording of those sessions will allow anyone to speak freely and transparently, and without the threat of intimidation or bullying. I have no reason to be concerned that my statements are being recorded, and no one else who participates in the executive session should be concerned about the portions of our meeting being recorded, especially if they are acting appropriately, respectfully, and in the best interest of the township. I therefore ask that the executive session portion of the meeting be officially recorded as per past practices.
Mayor, if I could just jump in?
Absolutely.
I disagree with your statement that there's no hardship. We are inundated with Oprah requests by our clerk, and your statement about the accuracy of the minutes, that's an insult to our clerk. And frankly, on every agenda item 8, we have the minutes. And if there is something that's incorrect that our clerk has done, that is your opportunity to say, Madam Clerk, I have a different recollection, and then we vote on it. So unless there's some particular concern here, we're inundated with Oprah requests. I trust our clerk, Tanya Carter, to do an excellent job in terms of recording those minutes and reducing the burden that she has in responding to, frankly, a cottage industry to set up clerks for failure. They're inundated. The police chief is here. They've had to hire a person to deal with all their Oprah requests. So to create another tape that she's going to have to listen to. And by the way, we talk about negotiation strategy during those closed sessions. And guess what happens? The contract gets approved for 5 years. So now that contract is signed. I make an Oprah request to get that tape recording to learn the negotiating strategy that I'm going to use 5 years from now because I know the negotiating strategy that you recorded. So I have a strong objection to further burdening our clerk with additional work. We've seen it clearly in terms of expenses to the taxpayers. So, and I have full faith and trust in our clerk, Tanya Carter, to do an excellent job in terms of recording minutes in a closed session. So I'll vote no. Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, I have to agree with everything that Councilman Powers had said. I think our clerk, Tanya Carter, is doing an incredible job. I think this is just one more thing at this point, sadly, that has to change because of the avalanche of Oprah requests. And the fact that there's a time limit on it, it puts a new burden on a very small office to not only do the work of the people in terms that the clerk's office should be doing, but also doing a whole bunch of Oprah requests. And I also have some issues with some of the wording, especially in paragraph 5 and to your statement as well about harassment, intimidation, and bullying. So I'm going to be voting no as well.
That's fine.
Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, I'm going to have to disagree with my fellow council members. I wholeheartedly support just going back to our past practice. It's not been an issue that I have been made aware of when we discussed why this action was taken at previous meetings. It wasn't brought up that was an issue in terms of our negotiation tactics. I did not realize that this was going to be pulled separately and discussed, so I apologize for not preparing more adequately. To the best of my recollection, I don't know if it was during a discussion or in an email. I can check my email, but I know that I personally requested audio of a closed hearing, which I did not receive yet, but that's neither here nor there. And a comment was made, or whether it was in person or in an email, that essentially said it was an odd request. I was one of like maybe 2 people this year that had requested closed session minutes. So I don't know that they're necessarily requested that often, but regardless, I think that we need to be as open and as accessible to the public as possible. And I'm okay voting on it, to conform with how we used to conduct our business. So that's my comment. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
not to repeat what my colleagues said, but we have an excellent clerk sitting here doing lots of work, lots of pressure on her to meet what we have to do, plus what else is happening to be done in this township that she's handling. My vote, I don't support it, no.
Okay, thanks for your input.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to have a comment. Though I don't have a vote, I do have an opportunity to make a comment, if you will allow me.
Sure.
I think one of the most important aspects of a closed session is to provide the opportunity for a governing body to freely speak and argue and articulate and be a part of an expansive decision-making process, and not have the fear of an audio recording being used against this township during their deliberation process and discussions of important issues. It's the only opportunity that the majority of council can get together and actually meaningfully discuss something without the fear that a certain word was said the wrong way or a hesitation happened or whatever. We are adults. We have to deal with major issues and we have to make important decisions. And I, for one, had no idea that those things were actually being recorded. I was at a seminar for newly elected officials, participated by many people, and they were shocked that our town recorded closed sessions. Shocked to the person, and we're talking 20, 30 people. So I had asked our clerk, let's just get a sense of who actually records closed sessions, because it's seemingly was odd. And I think it came out, us and 2 other entities in Mercer County of the 12 or whatever, actually record closed sessions. And the purpose is, we need to talk to each other. We need to not be afraid to express ideas that may be wrong or may come out in a way, man, that didn't sound good. But in the end, every decision that we make, you make, is in the open. We come out of closed session and we arrive at a decision. And so I think, that's what I've learned over the years in terms of closed session. It's the one and only opportunity where you can really flesh out all of the issues in a way where you're not afraid that somebody's gonna come up to you and say, why did you say that? When it's not the ultimate decision, but you're trying to arrive at a decision by the body. And I think that's one of the most important elements of a closed session. It's not to shield yourself from the community, but to allow the governing body to make important decisions in a free and open and fearless process.
I would like to say something.
Absolutely.
Every decision that I make for the council office is made out of my professional opinion, my professional experience, almost 27 years in that office. Given the nature of what has been going on with Oprah or the request, I can't scrub through a year or 3 years or 2 years of requests. And we have been inundated with a lot of different Oprah requests. It's just a matter of time. As he said before, there are 8 different municipalities in Mercer County that do not record at all. One said we don't need the troubles. The other one don't record open or closed sessions. I do what I feel is best for this township to protect against litigation, future litigation, and any other thing. And I stand by my decision. And that's all I have to say.
Very good. Thank you. Madam Clerk, can we get a vote?
Yes, you can. Mr. Bobbitt?
No.
Mr. Kanaki?
No.
Ms. McDuff?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
No.
And Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
Okay.
Moving on, council initiatives and liaison reports. None? Written communications? None? Executive sessions? No. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn. Second.
Thank you for coming, appreciate it. Thanks for your time, be careful going home. See you, our next meeting is July 18th.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
We'll try to remember this.
But,